The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
I'm Peter Boyles on the air everywhere. Sunny and 91, partly cloudy and 61 tonight, 93 on Wednesday. Before we go to Susan Daniels, this is on our website, KHW.com. It's a television ad. You'll hear the audio. You should see the visual part of this. The video is great. It's a national ad. They're requesting money to get more people out there to see this. In the meantime, go to the website, KHW.com. Watch it. Show it to your friends. You can lift it off our website and send it on. That's the only way things seem to get out these days. They're not going to get out on the network. So without further ado, Sheik, would you play the entire ad?
Who is Barack Obama? We know less about this man than any other president in American history. What's he hiding? His autobiography is full of fictional characters, but there's a lot more than that. If you try to look into his past, you run into a brick wall. His college records at Columbia, sealed. His college records at Harvard, sealed. We don't know what his thesis papers were about because those are sealed too. His selective service record is sealed. His records as an attorney are sealed. He has a Connecticut Social Security number, and we can't get answers about that either. And no one, I mean no one, has seen an actual physical copy of Barack Obama's birth certificate. The fact is, if we don't know who Barack Obama is, we shouldn't even have him as a candidate for president. Let's disqualify Obama before the Democratic National Convention. Call today to sign the demand to disqualify Obama. Call 1-800-617-7709. We need 10,000 signatures from every congressional district to boot this guy off the ballot and have the Democrats nominate someone else. Unless he can tell us who he is, the Democrats need to put up another candidate. Call 1-800-617-7709. Now to sign the demand to disqualify Obama.
You should see the ad, too. It's very good. It's KHOW.com. One more thing, then we'll go to our guest. On Friday, and I read about this last night, former House Speaker Newt Gingrich talks to the editorial board of the Daily Caller and said, we should press President, these are his words, Barack Obama to release his college academic records. The drumbeat again gets a little louder. Please say good morning. Welcome back to 630 KHW. I admire very much. In the last hour, we spoke with a friend of hers, Jack Cascio, who thinks she hung the moon as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the talented Susan Daniels. Good morning, ma'am. Welcome back today. Welcome back to Denver.
Oh, I love to be flattered first thing in the morning. Thank you very much.
I do it well, right? Remember those things? What do you? By the way, have you seen that ad that we just played the audio?
I have. It's terrific.
It's a terrific ad. I'm urging people. You know, you can lift things right off of a website. You can have it and just, take it from us and multiply it by 100 times and send it to your friends and tell them to multiply it by 100.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, no, it's what you have to do because, like I said, we were talking with Jack Cascio, who has done the work about how now Obama's books on tape, where he actually reads, quote, his own book, Dreams from My Father, they've now edited out or censored anything to do with Frank Marshall Davis.
Yep.
And so it's Orwellian as hell. But, of course, that's not going to be seen on Brian Williams or MSNBC or CNN.
Not a chance.
Yeah, so it's going to be up to all of us. You are one of those people that I just so admire.
Oh, thank you.
And Jack and, and Jerry and that whole group of people that have done this hard work. So by the way, you've been with us many times, but for the folks that don't know, do a quick bio.
I'm a licensed private investigator in Ohio and have had my own agency since 1995. I came across, Barack Obama's fraudulent Social Security number 3 years ago, and I've done a ton of research regarding it, and have been trying to get the information out for that long. And fortunately now, because of people like Jack Cascio, who has written about it, people are starting to find out that I knew what I was talking about 3 years ago.
How is it possible that this guy could have a Connecticut SSN, and how long has he been using that number?
He's been using that number since 1986, which would have made him 25 years old. But the number was actually issued to somebody in March of 1977. And I believe that the person that it was issued to was born in 1890 because that's what comes up on all of the documentation I found.
And yet, right? And yet, no one raises an eyebrow. Why?
No, because he's the golden boy.
What do you make of Gingrich on Friday saying that we should press President. Now, I mean, I took it as a major up, but press Barack Obama to release his college academic records. Now,
well, at this point, I mean, who actually thinks that they couldn't have gone in there and done anything they wanted with the college records?
no, you're right.
You know, I think that's, I think it's disingenuous. You know, if you want to ask her something, ask why he's using a Connecticut Social Security
No, you're
number.
right. You're right, because at this point, there's been more than enough time. But even something as the long-form birth certificate on a PDF file,
Yeah.
there's no question that was screwed with.
Oh, absolutely. But in the meantime, they're not able to get anybody to do anything about it.
Yeah. Then again, and your answer always is then again. What I mean, it's the emperor's new clothes.
Right. Right. The emperor's naked, and nobody wants to admit it.
Why is that?
Well, because it's frightening to people to think about how big of a conspiracy had to take place for all this to happen. People don't want to think about that because, you know, it's very disturbing. But that's the reality of it. I mean, there are thousands of people that had to be complicit in this.
Oh, absolutely. Well, or is it even, you know, Benjamin Franklin's great line, 3 can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead.
Right.
This guy, like I said, if you go down a list of things, and that television ad kind of it's at first blush.
Oh, yeah.
But when you really, I mean, the so-called discernibles in his book, Dreams from My Father, which Cascio believes he didn't even write.
Right.
I love this thing where the man, they said, well, there's 38 discernible problems. There's lies, and that's only the ones that they'll admit. There's probably double that amount of lies.
Oh, well, what irritates me is when nobody calls lies lies.
Yeah, discernible untruths.
Yeah, you know, it's a lie.
Thank you.
You know?
Remember Ron Ziegler, Richard Nixon's press secretary? He had that great line, what the president said was an untruth. That's a great, one of my favorite moments.
I don't remember that, but I love it.
Yeah, it's an untruth.
Yeah, that's politicians for you.
And thank you very much. So, by the way, you know, not that you would know or not that any of us would know, but Donald Trump has been kind of secretive and said he's working on a special project.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I believe it when I see it.
Okay, me too.
Yeah, I'm extremely skeptical of him.
Yeah, you know, there's sometimes he's one of those guys that he's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah.
So where are you in the lawsuit and looking at at Obama, and what do you think is going to happen, if you could talk about that?
Well, they filed last week a motion to dismiss, and this is very interesting. Although I'm told it really doesn't mean anything. In their motion to dismiss, it says the following allegations of fact appear in the complaint, in the complaint I filed. And then in parentheses, and it says, and must, for purposes of this motion, be accepted as true. Okay, so they're stipulating that the following things for the purposes of the motion are true. That Barack Obama uses that number, that it was issued in March of 1977, that it was based upon the applicant's state of residence, and the Social Security numbers beginning with 0442 were reserved for residents of Connecticut, and that he was never in Connecticut in 1977.
No, and neither was, even though Bill O'Reilly thought his father was. Yale's not in Connecticut.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
right.
That your answer's great. I love it. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true.
But then, and so I started putting together a first draft to respond to this, and the following day I got from the court a letter saying a hearing date's been set to deal with the issue of the preliminary injunction I asked for. And that is set for September 4th. And that's good. That's really good news, because the judge could have dismissed it based on their motion.
And you think you're going to get heard finally? Somebody's going to get heard?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a hearing date set. But, you know, because I'm very skeptical for the following reasons. I've seen this happen in dozens of other lawsuits.
Yeah, I have too.
And, you know, I don't know. I mean, I hear good things about the judge that's hearing this case. He's supposed to be a very honorable man. But so were some of the other judges.
Well, that case in Georgia where, you know, one...
Malihi.
Oh, my God, what? I mean, the guy.
That was horrible. It was so horrible.
Yeah.
I sat there and listened to the lawyers come out of his chambers before the hearing, and they said he's going to give us a default judgment, but that we can present our information just so it's documented.
Right.
And then he turns around and, I mean, it was just stunning. Somebody I know said that...
What happened? Sure.
Well, she said that she had read previous decisions of his, and this did not read like anything of his.
No, I'm saying something happened.
Yeah. Well, what I heard happened, and of course I only hear rumors.
Sure.
I can't guarantee anything, but I heard that Valerie Jarrett personally called him.
Well, she's a mean woman, man. I tell you.
Mean doesn't even start it. I thought Michelle Obama was nasty. This woman makes Michelle look like she's standing still.
In Klein's book, she's the one who drove off Oprah. She drove off Carolyn Kennedy. I mean, she's just really rough.
Yeah, she's nasty.
Yeah. So you think that's the? Who knows what kinds of threats get made in those situations? I never do.
I mean, someday we'll know the answers to everything. But
you're right.
Now is when we need to know them.
But you're right. I mean, it will out. Shakespeare was right. It's Old Testament. It's.
Oh yes.
You don't.
It absolutely will.
You don't hide it forever. I agree.
No, because somebody will become courageous and come forward with something.
So as we wrap it up, tell me where we stand now with your lawsuit.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out whether I need to respond to their motion to dismiss. And, I have somebody who is advising me, and then I'm just marking the calendar for September 4th for the hearing date. There will be a hearing. What's going to happen there, I have no idea, but I will definitely go there and be prepared. I mean, the court has already seen all my documents, and that's something I wanted to mention, Peter. I can give you and your listeners an email address where they can go to read the complaint.
Well, we can do that when you and I are done. I'll put you on hold.
Okay, that'd be great.
And you talk to Greg, and then we'll link it up for you, okay?
Yeah, that'd be great because people really need to see what's in the complaint because it contains a table of contents of all the documents that I added to make it a 104-page filing.
Okay.
And some people will be interested, I think.
I think they will as well. I'll tell you what, I'll say goodbye to you here. I'll put you on hold, Susan. You speak with Greg, and we'll put that up, okay?
Okay,
thank you so
Peter.
much. All right, that was an update on this lawsuit. And we'll hook that up as well.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.